Okay, Sagittarius, in the next 18 months, you might understand what this video was really about. I'm Sook Boy, you're awesome. Let's talk about it. Now, history doesn't repeat, but it does tend to rhyme or echo. So if you can remember, if you were around between 2007 and 2009, that period of time will anchor you in some context. It potentially could give you a clue about what's ahead. Now, I've been doing a complete series on the nodes shifting into Leo and Aquarius, and I've got to be frank, out of all the videos I've been creating for every single sign, this is probably the most favorable. In late July, we saw the nodes pivot or shift into the 9th house and the 3rd house. Now, this is very subtle. You probably haven't even noticed it yet, but it will become more significant because we will experience eclipses moving forward, or Sagittarius Rising in particular, you'll experience in this axis of knowledge, the 9th and the 3rd house. Now, the South node moving into the 9th house of Leo, it wants to incinerate or audit anything that is not working for you. This includes your coping mechanisms. So I want you to think about your worldview, your philosophy. You know, what's been holding you back? What has not been serving you anymore? What philosophies have you outgrown? Now, the 9th house represents themes of overseas travel, connection to God, spiritual and religious structures or doctrines that you've identified yourself with too closely. This could have become your comfort zone. Now, it's important to understand, even though your comfort zone will be tested, we don't necessarily lose our comfort zone because as we grow, we just find a new place for it. We find that new comfort zone. Now, Jupiter, your chart ruler, is actually sitting in Leo for the next year. And that chart ruler rules not only your 1st house, but your 4th house of the home, living situation, your roots and ancestry. Now, the 9th house is all about traveling. Now, traveling physically, sure, going overseas, exploring new cultures, exposing yourself to new ways of thinking, but also metaphysically, traveling your imagination, traveling your studies, acquiring and absorbing more knowledge. In other words, the South node might be wrapping up something for you. Potentially, you have the wisdom you need, you have the vision, you know where you're headed, but it is time to get a lot more pragmatic and move towards this North node in the 3rd house. Whereas the South node represents something very familiar. It's how you typically want to solve your problems, let's say. As I said, it's your comfort zone. The North node is more unfamiliar, but it is rather rewarding if you invest or build in this area of the chart, in the sense that it compounds and becomes a lot more rewarding or satiating or satisfying the more energy you put into it. The South node audits or incinerates coping mechanisms, anything too familiar. And the North node rewards you and amplifies for the efforts you put into that area of the chart. In this case, it's the 3rd house of Aquarius. So it's asking you to put your roots down and become more organized and basically localized with your energy, your actions, and your efforts. Questioning your beliefs, not just accepting dogmatic ideologies, but understanding why you believe the thing you believe. If you've been away from home, if you've been traveling for a long time, if you haven't felt grounded or anchored, maybe it's time to become a little bit more localized, settle into a particular area and do the work. This could look like launching a new business in your local area, or going home, going to where you grew up, or contacting old friends that you haven't spoken to in a long time. Now, this 3rd house also represents your extended family and your siblings. And so is there some kind of family business, or is there something happening with your siblings that's bringing you home, so to speak? The knowledge axis, the 3rd and the 9th, is about journalism, writing, publishing. It's about politics. It's about consulting, learning, teaching, advising. So this is a huge theme for the next 18 months in some way, shape or form. The conversations that you have will matter. They will make an impact, and you can contribute to the collective in a more meaningful way if you're organized and pragmatic about it. But more than anything, it's about consolidating your vision through pragmatism, getting organized, finding the structures, finding the systems, restructuring, the settings of your mind and your approach so you can actually complete what you set out to do in the first place. Many of you may have been exploring the metaphysical, spiritual realms, learning astrology, learning tarot, learning a new religious or dogmatic ideological structure. It's time to practice what you preach and actually integrate those teachings into your daily life. Funnily enough, Aquarius is all about technology and progression and contributing to a community in some way. Is it time to contribute to a local community? Or just settle yourself, anchor yourself down so you can grow a following online? Publishing your work more consistently, or if you already are publishing work, is it performative? Is it truly authentic and sincere? Again, if you've been performative in any way, looking for validation, looking for recognition, and not being sincere about what you actually think, if you've been censoring yourself in any way, that South node is going to burn that away, and you'll actually be rewarded if you are more genuine with your message. that wanderlust, that explorer, that visionary is trying to be the eternal student once more, and it's trying to refine your message. Investing in the process of actually building the structure or restructuring something already established. Aquarius is all about innovating, the decay of the establishment and actually using what works, not what has worked traditionally for you. And again, this is nothing about the theory. It's about testing that theory against real world data, the facts, the evidence. Now, the ruler of the North Node in Aquarius is actually in your 5th house of Aries. Saturn in the 5th house is giving you a reality check on your impatience. Have you not been patient enough? Have your passions and your interests been overwhelming, or have there been some kind of psychological resistance to doing the work in a more practical, down-to-earth way? Have you been traveling or escaping or avoiding the fact that there is real hard work that needs to be done if you are to ascertain said dream, vision, or goal? Now, the 5th house is also about being playful. And with Saturn in there, it's not necessarily being playful anymore. Again, it's putting in the effort and restricting yourself, having some kind of delayed gratification, enduring the hard work now so you can reap the rewards later. The 5th house is also about children. So maybe your philosophy or beliefs are being changed by the fact that you're committing to starting a family, committing to staying in the one location and building a home or a committed relationship. Potentially this 5th house, which is also about your situationships, your romantic love life, is actually asking for a deeper commitment. So therefore, you may need to be more organized with your life when it comes to taking care of children. More than anything, this 5th house is about your creative output, what you really want, what really fills your cup, and it's asking for a deeper commitment. Funnily enough, Saturn rules your 2nd house of Capricorn. And so it's not really about making money yet. Maybe after the next 18 months, once you launch the business, once you become more pragmatic and organized, then you can think about generating wealth out of this passion project. I'm not saying you're never going to make money out of your passion project, or at least you have to wait. But if you start now, it will be more favorable down the track. Just saying. Organizing your energy. Not just being theoretical, but being practical. Giving real world results to philosophies or worldviews, grounding yourself in some way. Now, as a thank you for watching this entire video, please feel free to send me a DM. I'll send you a coupon code for 30 Australian dollars off my natal and birth chart readings for new clients in particular. Only love, positive vibes always. Hope that helps. Go bye.